Have you noticed? The more desperately you try to save someone, the deeper they sink. The hand you extend in rescue becomes the very chain that binds them. You have been taught a beautiful lie that love means endless yes, that compassion means constant availability, that spiritual maturity is measured by how much of yourself you pour away until nothing remains. But what if I told you something dangerous? What if the most sacred act is sometimes to step back? What if true love knows when to close its hand? What if the deepest compassion sometimes wears the face of refusal? Today we explore the wisdom of the closed hand, not cruelty, not indifference, but a scene so clear, a love so true, that it refuses to interrupt the lessons life is carving into another soul. Listen, you have been shaped by a story. The story whispers, good people help, spiritual people serve, evolved souls are always available. And so you became a well with no bottom, pouring, believing your worth is measured by how much you give before collapse. But watch closely, this is not love. This is fear dressed in virtue's clothing. Fear that if you stop giving, you will be seen as selfish. Fear that if you set a boundary, you will be abandoned. Fear that your value exists only in your usefulness to others. The helper's identity is built on rescue. And like any identity, it will fight to survive, even if that means keeping others helpless. Here is the secret your ego hides from you. Every person you rescue from their consequences, you also rob of their power. Every problem you solve for someone capable of solving it themselves, you confirm their belief in their own helplessness. You think you are being kind, but you are participating in their imprisonment. Doing without discernment is not virtue, it is violence disguised as grace. Once, a man found a cocoon through a small opening. He watched a butterfly struggle to force its body through. Hours passed. The creature seemed to make no progress. The man's heart ached. Moved by compassion, he took a knife and carefully cut open the cocoon to release the butterfly. The creature emerged easily, but its body was swollen, its wings shriveled, weak. It spent the rest of its brief life dragging itself across the ground, never flying. What the man didn't know, the struggle through that narrow opening forces fluid from the body into the wings. The very resistance builds the strength needed for flight. His help was the butterfly's doom. Life is that narrow opening. Struggle is not the obstacle to transformation, it is the mechanism of transformation. When you remove necessary resistance from another's path, you don't help them fly, you doom them to crawl. And they will look at you with gratitude, never knowing you have stolen their wings. The seven faces you must recognize. Now we descend into specifics, not to judge, not to condemn, but to see clearly, because wisdom begins with recognition. There are certain energies that will drink from you endlessly and never be filled, not because they are evil, but because they are asleep, and your constant rescue keeps them sleeping. First, the one who has surrendered to comfort. Watch the person who has made laziness their religion, not the one who is tired. Exhaustion is real, rest is holy, but the one who has decided that effort itself is the enemy, that someone else should carry what they themselves can carry. They will have reasons. Oh, the reasons will flow endlessly. Childhood wounds, bad luck, the universe conspiring against them, and some may be true. But here is the question that cuts through fog. What are they doing now? Not tomorrow. Not when conditions are perfect now. The chronically comfortable accept your health the way a hammock accepts a body with complete passivity, and you will feel needed, you will feel important, but you are enabling a spiritual sleep. Nature is ruthless about this. The bird that will not open its mouth receives no food. The branch that bears no fruit is cut away, not as punishment, but as truth. Energy flows toward aliveness, not toward stagnation. When you help the one who refuses to help themselves, you rob them of the most transformative discovery of their life, that they are capable, that their muscles work, that inside them lives a power they have never met because someone always stepped in before the meeting could happen. Your kindness is their cage. Let them feel hunger. Let them feel the cold. Not because you don't care, but because you care enough to let them wake up. Second, the one who takes everything as owed gratitude is not politeness. Gratitude is the recognition that you are woven into a web, that what comes to you is gift, not right. The ungrateful person has lost this thread. They receive your time, your resources, your heart, and treat it all as air, invisible, expected, insufficient. I once knew someone who paid a friend's rent for 6 months, sacrifice upon sacrifice. The friend complained about the apartment being too small, the neighborhood not fine enough, the inconvenience of need. When the help ended, the friend didn't mourn the loss of blessing. He raged at betrayal as if the gift had been a debt now unfairly called in. This is the architecture of entitlement. And here is the trap. The more you give the ungrateful, the less they value it. A perverse law. Your generosity doesn't inspire gratitude, it breeds expectation. They begin to see your kindness not as your choice, but as their due. You are not planting seeds in such soil, you are throwing them into a hole with no bottom. Stop. Not in anger, but in sanity. Let them learn that gifts are gifts, that kindness is choice, that nothing is owed. Third, the one armored in rightness pride is fear wearing a crown. The arrogant do not want your help, they want your confirmation. They do not seek wisdom, they seek validation of what they already believe. And if you dare offer anything that challenges their self image, you will be dismissed, diminished, discarded. This person is not suffering from lack of knowledge, they are suffering from excess self protection. Their entire identity is built on being right, on knowing, on not needing. To admit they don't understand something would crack the foundation of who they believe themselves to be, so they argue, they defend, they reject not your ideas but the threat of their own ignorance. You cannot help someone like this. Not because they are beyond help, but because they have locked the door from the inside. All your pounding, all your pleading, all your wisdom poured through the keyhole useless. They must fall. The arrogant must meet the ground hard enough that they finally look up and see they do not have all the answers. The great teachers understood this. They spoke truth and walked on. They didn't chase the proud. They didn't beg them to listen. They simply moved toward those whose hands were open, whose hearts were soft, whose emptiness was conscious. Wait not for their approval, but for their humility. And if it never comes, let them go. Your energy is holy. Spend it where it can take root. Fourth, the one who has married harm, we must speak clearly here. There are people who do not make mistakes, they make choices. Again and again they choose to lie, to manipulate, to harm, to take. And when confronted, they do not repent. They justify, they explain, they perform remorse while planning the next violation. The habitually harmful person is not confused. They know exactly what they are doing, and when you help them, you do not rescue them from darkness, you fund it. You become the resource that allows them to continue. You give them money, they use it for schemes. You give them trust, they weaponize it. You give them time, they fill it with poison. Wisdom traditions across every culture warn, do not enable wickedness. Not because we lack compassion, but because we recognize that some have chosen a path that leads to ruin. And if you try to pull them off that path before they are ready, they will not thank you. They will pull you onto it with them. The wicked do not want to be saved, they want to be empowered. Step back, not with hatred, but with clarity. You are not their judge, but you are also not required to be their accomplice. Fifth, the one who refuses every lesson. A fool is not someone lacking intelligence. A fool is someone who refuses to learn. They touch the hot stove again and again and again, each time stunned by the burn, never connecting cause to effect. They make the same ruinous choices, ignore the same wise counsel, create the same crisis, then look around in shock as if disaster came from nowhere. The wise learn from experience, the fool does not. And here is what makes this heartbreaking. The fool will come to you in genuine distress. Their pain is real, their desperation is real. Your heart will want to rescue them. But if you look at their history, this is not their first crisis. This is a pattern. And each time someone saved them, they went right back to the behavior that created the need for saving. The fool is drowning and refuses the life preserver. They keep thrashing, going under, gasping. And if you jump in to save them, they will pull you under too. Not from malice, but from panic. Not from evil, but from refusal to stop thrashing. You cannot save a fool. Only life can teach them. Only the consequences they keep running from can break through their stubbornness. Every time you intervene, you delay that teaching, you interrupt the very lesson that might finally wake them. Let them meet the bottom. It is the kindest thing you can do. Sixth, the one who plays the thousand faces. The manipulator is the most dangerous because they are the hardest to see. They do not demand, they inspire. They do not take, they make you want to give. They study you, find your soft spots, press them with surgical precision. They know good people feel guilty saying no. They know kind people want to be needed, and they use this knowledge like a blade. With one person, they are the victim. With another, the hero. With you, whatever you need them to be, to open your wallet, your door, your heart, shapeshifters. And if you compare notes with others they've touched, the stories won't match. Because they aren't telling truth, they're performing the truth that gets them what they want. When you help a manipulator, you are not helping a person in need. You are feeding a system, a machine of extraction. And the moment you stop giving, The moment you see through the performance, they turn. You become the villain in their next story. They will tell others how you betrayed them. And they will move to the next mark with a new script. Recognition is your only defense. Watch for inconsistency. Watch for stories that shift depending on the audience. Watch for how quickly gratitude turns to expectation, then to demand, then to rage when you finally say no. Step back, not with guilt, but with clarity. You are not abandoning a person in need, you are refusing to feed a pattern that devours. Seventh, the one who knows and refuses. Finally, the most painful, the person who knows better and chooses worse. They have been taught, they have been warned, they have been shown the way, and they nod, they agree, they promise, and the moment you turn your back, they return to the old destruction. This is not ignorance, this is defiance. They know what is right but prefer what is wrong. And you keep hoping this time will be different. This time they'll really change because you can see their potential. You can see what they could become. But here is the unbearable truth. They have to want it and they don't. Not yet. Maybe not ever. You cannot want someone's healing more than they want it. You cannot fight for their freedom harder than they fight for it. And if you try, you will exhaust yourself running in place while they remain exactly where they've always been. The unrepentant need to choose. And until that choice arises from their own depths, from their own pain becoming finally unbearable, all your effort is wind against stone. Let them go, not with bitterness, but with recognition that love sometimes means allowing someone to meet the full weight of their choices. So, what are we left with? Do we become cold? Do we stop caring? No. We learn the difference between enabling and empowering, between rescuing and respecting, between helping someone and preventing their growth. True compassion is not saying yes to every request. True compassion sometimes looks like the refusal that forces someone to stand on their own legs for the first time. The bird pushes the chick from the nest not because it doesn't love the chick, but because it does. Gravity and air and fear and the frantic beating of untested wings, this is how flying is born. Your energy is not infinite. Your time is not unlimited. Your love, though vast, must be directed with wisdom. Not everyone deserves your yes. And recognizing this is not cruelty, it is sanity. It is respect for the laws that govern growth. It is trust that life knows how to teach what you cannot. For the next 7 days, when someone asks for help, pause. Just pause. Don't rush to yes. Don't rush to no. Pause and ask yourself 3 questions. Is this person taking any steps to help themselves? Or are they waiting for me to do what they can do? Will my help empower their growth or prevent a necessary lesson? Am I giving from overflow or from depletion? From wisdom or from guilt? Let the answers inform your choice. And if the answer is no, practice saying it with kindness but without apology. I cannot help with this. Then sit with the discomfort. Notice the guilt, the fear of being seen as selfish, the old conditioning screaming that you must always give. Notice it, breathe through it, do not act from it. Watch what happens. Watch how, when you stop rescuing, people begin finding their own strength. Watch how, when you stop being endlessly available, you finally have energy for those who truly honor what you offer. Watch how, when you close your hand in wisdom, what remains open is your heart no longer drained but alive. That believes love means self erasure. That believes saying no makes you bad. This you is a fiction, lovingly constructed from wounds and conditioning, and it must die. Not in violence, but in seeing. When you step back from the compulsive need to fix everyone, something remarkable happens. You stop being the doer, you become the witness. And in witnessing, you see clearly for the first time. You see who is ready for help and who is wedded to helplessness. You see who receives with gratitude and who takes with entitlement. You see who is genuinely struggling and who is merely performing. And this seeing is love, not the sentimentality that calls itself love, not the guilt ridden obligation that masquerades as compassion, but clear eyed, fierce, boundaried love that knows when to give and when to withhold, that knows the difference between helping someone stand and holding them up, that honors the dignity of another's struggle enough to let them struggle. This is the art of withholding, not withholding presence, not withholding care, but withholding the interference that robs another of their power, withholding the rescue that prevents the lesson, withholding your yes so that their own strength can finally emerge. May you know the difference between kindness and enabling. May you trust that sometimes love says no. May you give from wisdom, not from wound. May you honor your own energy as the sacred resource it is. May you release with grace those who will not walk, trusting that the ground they meet may be the ground that wakes them. May you become so discerning that every yes is a true yes, every no is a true no, and between them only clarity. And may you finally understand the person who needs saving most is often you, from the exhausting belief that everyone else's journey is your responsibility. In refusing to carry what is not yours, you discover what is a life no longer drained by rescue, but filled with the quiet power of one who knows when to act and when to allow.